Party people, what's going on? This is Samaj Marsh. I'm the founder of BlueDeathValley.com, and I want to welcome everybody here for a special edition of Inside the Valley, live from City BBQ here in Greensboro, North Carolina, on Lawndale Boulevard. I'm with my main man, my ace, Craig Turner, the president. What's going on, Craig?
Hey, what's up, Samaj? We took it on the road. The folks here at City BBQ have been absolutely fantastic today.
Wonderful staff, they're hard working. They accommodated every crazy idea and request that we had. And we got a bunch of Aggies in the house today. Guys from all over the state. People came down from Raleigh.
Got a good crowd.
Here in the background, got a packed house here. And there's still time for you guys to make it out here. It's 2647 Lawndale Drive in the parking lot where Target and across from Panera Bread. Come through here. They got the best barbecue food in probably the state of North Carolina right now. And I'm a Texas guy. Everybody knows I'm from Houston, so I'm kind of partial to barbecue. But this is like the one North Carolina barbecue that can give Texas a run for its money. So check it. Come down to City BBQ. And here's the deal. If you use the special code we got, then 20% of all the proceeds are going right back to the AAF. So it's for a great cause. Now, I know you guys are wondering, we're kind of light right now with 2/3 of the Inside the Valley crew. Our other key cog, Doug Brown, he's a little under the weather, so he's not going to be able to make it right now. But hopefully he'll be in Charlotte this weekend. But until then, we're going to just try to have a regular show, have some fun. And I want you to see if you guys can, if you're in Greensboro, come through and join us. Oh, got Tyler Ball in the area, so you know the party with T-Ball in the mix. Yeah. So, first of all, I also want to jump into this big weekend we got in Charlotte, that Duke's Mayo Classic, also better known as the Aggie-Eagle Classic. Craig.
Yeah.
Long ball season. an eventful fall camp.
Yeah.
And now we're finally here. No more waiting. A couple of days, it's going to be on.
Yeah.
How does that feel? What are your thoughts about right now, how we feel about this Aggie-Eagle weekend?
Excited. Kind of on butterflies a little bit. I hate Central, so that'll make it real easy to get up for this game. It's going to be 40,000 people down there on Saturday evening, and the place is going to be rocking.
And we talked to our guy Miller Yoho last week, and he said pretty much they'll sell as many tickets as we want to buy. So we filled up the whole bottom level, which is about 35,000 capacity. They'll open up the top, and they'll whatever we want to do, they'll give it to us if we want to buy the tickets. And so they're ready. Everybody I talked to who's one of those diehards, they already got their hotel room booked. Folks are plane, train, automobile. I think Tyler, you come on the train still? Tyler's rolling on the train to get down there, Charlotte. So he's going take the scenic route. But everybody is ascending on the Queen City this weekend. A whole bunch of parties, and you heard what Miller said last week about all the special events for the players. It's going crazy. So Craig, tell me, you've seen the roster, you've done your homework. Right. What makes you confident that we're going to be successful when we go down to Charlotte this weekend? What gives you the most confidence right now?
We've been there before. That's the biggest advantage I think we have going into this game. We've been there before. We've been in big game situations, coming out of the box. Central is a good ball club, and we'll get into that a little bit later. They've improved a great deal, but so has A&T. They made some off-season moves, and these kids had an off year last year. But we still return a lot of guys that were on that 19 team.
Yeah.
And so they know their way around big games.
So Central, actually, they were 6-5 last year, correct?
Right.
And they finished their regular season on a 3-game winning streak. They beat Norfolk, Howard, and Dale State to finish the year. So they're feeling pretty good about how they ended up. And then in the offseason, everyone's aware they made some strategic moves. They went to us and they stole they stole our defensive coordinator, Courtney Cord. And then in the last couple of weeks, we found out that a former defensive back, former NFL star, Tony McRae, somehow he jumped ship to the dark side, and he's working with Central now in that secondary. So they got Courtney Core and Tony McCray on that sideline this weekend. That's going to be weird. You know, to say at least that's going to be weird. So I asked Coach Washington about that at the press conference this week, and he didn't seem too concerned.
And rightfully so. I wouldn't be too concerned about it either because Coach Washington's made a lot of changes in all season with his coaching staff as well, and they're doing some things that are different, much different from what it was when Coach Corey was here. So there's not going to be a whole lot of surprises that Central can throw at us at this particular point with Coach Washington having Coach Trey Oliver, their head coach. I mean, recruited him, coached him all the way through college, and the same thing holds true with Coach Cord. Both those guys learn their football from Washington.
Right, and so everybody's kind of the descendant from the Rod Broadway tree, right?
Yeah, it stands way out there.
Yeah, so that's the genesis of it. And Oliver, he's going to try to be a mini Broadway. He wants to do chicken. He wants to, he might not phrase it in the same way, but he has the same philosophy, right?
Right.
So it's going to be an interesting marriage of styles, And one of the things I'm most optimistic about is this running game, right? Because all season, all season, we heard about the big guy, number 8.
Yeah.
And he's just being run over people.
Charlie Dixon,
about 6'2". How big do you think he is? So 220, 230?
He's about 230, a little bit over 230.
And I don't know. I'm pretty sure Central knows, but I don't know a lot of people on the national radar know who this guy is. They'll find out.
They're going to find out Saturday night.
Yeah.
He's a stud. He's a stud. He's a pure stud.
We got a depth chart here, right? We got the depth chart. He's listed right now. He's listed third. So Bashal Tootin is the first. It's a starting running back. Wesley Graves is second, and Charlie Dixon is third. I don't know how much to make out of that, though. I can see whoever has the hot hand.
Well, I can tell you this. Bashal Tootin has transformed himself in all season.
Yeah.
He was a true freshman last year, and we got him late in July of last year, and then he came on when Martin couldn't go and established himself as in that backfield. But in all season, he's put on, I say, about 7 or 8 pounds. He's right at 200, 205 right now. He's chiseled, no fat. Yeah. And he's he might
get a little quicker.
He's much faster than he was a year ago.
You remember that one game? I can't remember. I think it was Charleston Southern.
Yeah.
He got walked down. He hit a long run. They got him right at like the 2 or 3 yard line. I think this year that same scenario happens. He's taking to the house.
Yeah. He's improved all the way around. So he's going to be tough. You got Freddie Graves. He's a wrecking crew.
Wesley Graves.
He 5'9", about 220.
He's a shifty guy.
Surprisingly so.
Yeah.
He's surprisingly so for a kid that size. Yeah, for a 220-pound running back, he's got a little shake and bake in him.
Actually, when I went to, they kind of still had an Area 51 concept in spring practice. And we have Dr. Simmons is shy, but he's in the building. I think, Dr. Simmons is an icon. Everybody knows Dr. Simmons around A&T. He's always there. And they turned him away. They kicked him out of practice. So that they was serious business about keeping things under wraps. So there wasn't a lot of people who saw some in-depth action at A&T, but I went to one scrimmage, and I was impressed by all the running backs. Everybody who took a handoff just had a tremendous skill set.
Yeah. Well, I think A&T's running game is going to be vastly improved over what was a year ago, and large part of it is going to be the offensive line is much better than it was in 2021. We got some new faces along that offensive line, and it's a deep offensive line. So you're going to have a rotation in there to where they'll be able to substitute in without losing any edge at all. There's no drop off in talent if they go when they substitute in and out on the offensive line. We should be able to have fresh legs in the fourth quarter of this ball game because I think we're going to need it.
What about the wide receivers? How you feel about it? Because once again, Sam Washington, he feels this is probably one of the best wide receiver corps he's ever had. He said that a couple years ago. He's saying it again.
He's right.
He's right.
That wide receiver corps is super. They've got size. They're big, tall, rangy guys. All of them can run. Good route runners. You got Zach Leslie in there, Taman Cook, the kid from I can't even think of his name. He was a freshman last year. Warren.
Oh yeah.
Warren. And he's going to start 4 wideouts this year.
Did you say my man Sterling Burkhalter?
Sterling Burkhalter, 6'5", 190.
And I hate to say it, but outside of Zach Leslie, he might be the most impressive of the bunch.
He's got octopus hands.
Right. If
he puts a hand on the ball, it's caught.
If anybody came to the spring game, he had to be the MVP because he caught everything that was in the air.
Yeah, it's changed. It's a change. It's a change in the offense too. I can't remember when A&T started 4 wideouts on their depth chart, but that is to tell you something. And then you got Nick Dobson at tight end, and Nick Dobson I think is probably one of the best tight ends in FCS.
Well, when he get the ball this year, because we could say that last year his skill set was evident in the South Carolina State game.
Right.
But are we going to consistently get the ball to him?
Yeah.
Yes.
We will.
Okay.
We will.
Okay. So that's the definitive from.
We're going to run first. But we're going to be able to throw the football.
Gotcha. All right. So let's flip around here. Let's have a little bit of truth serum here. Let me get my soda. What are you worried about? What are some things that give you a little bit of pause, concern about this year's roster, the way it's made up right now?
Two things that, going against Central, there's 2 things that really concern me with the first game. First one is turnovers. You always have first game turnovers, mistakes, penalties, and plus the fact that it's a rivalry game. You got teams amped up, and then people get a little hot on the collar. They're highly competitive kids, and then they get distracted and pick up a stupid personal foul. That's the first thing that worries me the most about this game. Second thing is going to be quarterback play.
Okay,
quarterback play. I think we've covered ourselves in the secondary, which was a sore spot last year, but that's not going to be the case. Should not be the case this year. Right. The quarterback play was the one thing that Sam Washington definitely said last year had to improve it no matter what.
He was emphatic about that. That was the one, discipline was a major issue, but quarterback play, he made no bones about it. It wasn't good enough.
Right.
So that's a great segue, Craig. That brings us to the topic of the hour, really, and that's that long question quarterback battle. Who's going to be the guy? You have 4 guys in camp. All of them have their own, pluses and minuses, right? But only one can go out the field at a time.
Well, the coach has already said this week that he's going to use a 2 quarterback system for this first game.
Only 2, okay.
He's going to use possibly 3, but definitely 2 that we know of. He's going to use in this game and see which one steps to the forefront and takes control.
And so, first guy on the field, in Charlotte, who's that going to be?
Zach Yeager.
Zach Yeager. Okay, so the mystery has been solved, and actually, A&T kind of put the secret in the game notes. Zach Yeager is listed number 1 on the depth chart for quarterback, and he's also the backup holder. So that tells you, he's probably going to be the guy who gets at least the first couple of reps, first series. And behind him is listed as Jalen Fowler. And a lot of people know that Jalen Fowler, he had COVID for the last part of that camp.
Right.
He missed about 10 days in the competitive quarterback battle. That set him back.
Yeah, it would, because he obviously he would miss a couple of scrimmages and game prep. But I think Yeager probably won that job more so on his play rather than Fowler being out because of illness.
So that's an area of concern. I think pretty much the most optimistic person in blue and gold is still kind of questionable and leery. What's that going to look like, especially when they hit adversity? If Central brings all-out blitz,
yeah,
Yeager has a lot of skills. He has a lot of talent, but he hasn't really been in the fire yet. The only time he played last year was mop-up duty at Duke and a couple other games. He hasn't really had a whole 2 or 3 series back-to-back.
Right.
So
he's in the same situation that Fowler was in last year.
Right.
Basically. But it's a little bit different. I think.
I take it back because at least Fowler the previous year, he came in for that Bethune-Cookman game right in that third quarter. Khalil Carter was struggling, and Fowler made plays to help us beat Bethune in a must-win scenario.
Yeah, well, we ran for 350 yards against them too, so that helped.
But when Carter got benched, it was a close game, and then we pulled away with Fowler's help. So he had that under his belt. I don't know if Yeager has anything. I mean, outside of practice, outside of the spring game, I don't know if Yeager has anything where you can say, I remember doing that. Everything's going to be a new phenomenon come Saturday.
Well, he is a very mature young man. His football IQ, I think, if you talk to the coaches and talk to Coach Barnett, offensive coordinator, will tell you his recognition skills are there. He's got all the tools. He can run. He can throw. And you got to play him sometimes. Well, you don't recruit him if you ain't going to play him.
You got to play him because now, of course, Eli Brickhandler was the most talented, one of the talented recruits coming from Charlotte, from California. And then I think he did like a prep here in Chapel Hill.
Right.
He's looked great in spring. I know we got some people here who are big Brickhandler fans. Anybody that's a Brickhandler fan?
You got one right over there.
Got Reggie Cruz there in the building. And then Austin Hooker.
Yeah.
Every chance that Washington gets, he makes a point to say something positive about Hooker. So, and I don't know if he's just blowing smoke. It seems like he really has earned some respect and might be getting some looks come this season. Or he might not play Saturday, but I think he's going to be in consideration with the other guys.
They're going to get. They're all 4 of them are going to get opportunities during this first 4 game. These first 4 games, some non-conference games, all you're gonna see all of them at some point in time. The question is how many minutes and what the game dictates is going to determine how many minutes they're going to play. The biggest thing is Saturday is establishing. Yeager coming out and establishing that offense early. I think that's a key for him. I think if he comes out and gets and puts together a good opening series, first or second series, and puts together a good run that results in some points, I think a lot of questions will be answered.
All right, so let's do an informal poll in here, because I know everybody got their favorite. If you believe that Zach Yeager was rightfully the best quarterback in camp and should have get the job, make some noise. Let me hear all these Zach Yeager people. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. Okay, all right, let's go. If you were a Jalen Fowler guy, if you believe that the 5th-year senior deserves to get that start in Charlotte, make some noise for Fowler. No. Okay. This is a tough crowd.
I think most everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen. When you're dealing with the unknown, it's kind of hard to get real up about something that you don't have any idea how it's going to turn out.
How about Hooker? Anybody a Hooker fan in here? Yeah. Okay, so you think Hooker should get the job? All right, and last but not least, Eli Brick Handler. Anybody? Brick Handler. Okay. So this is like the Apollo showtime the Apollo. I think Brick Handler is a fan favorite. We call it people shit, right?
Yeah.
So he captured the imagination of the fan base from day one. So it's not really a surprise. But I guess we gotta trust the coaching staff. They get paid the big bucks. They get all the scrutiny.
Yeah.
They're gonna ride for at least the time being with Zach Yeager, the Minnesota kid, and I guess everybody's gonna have to ride behind him.
Yeah, and you can never say never. It would not surprise me if Eli didn't show up in this game Saturday night.
So are you predicting a scenario where it's just out of control by like the third quarter and like the water boy gets in the game? And are they going to be able to empty the bench and just give everybody some minutes?
Well, no, I don't see that happening in this particular game. But I think with some of the matchups down the road, if it develops that way, I think you'll see those. I think you'll see those three younger quarterbacks get substantial playing time.
And guys, you got to keep this in mind. This is the new redshirt rule. Mm-hmm. So you get four games, 4 appearances to play without accounting against your eligibility.
Exactly.
So they can find some strategic times to get all these guys some reps, and it still won't hurt them. But man, you got the graduate, 5th-year senior,
right?
And then you got 3 freshmen. So this is going to be a question that we're going to be answering. And if everybody stays put, we're going to be having the same debate for like the next couple of years.
Possibly.
Because let's say Yeager, Brick Handler, and then Hooker. If everybody feels that they're one step away,
yeah,
and they stick around, which is kind of not everybody want to do that. I guess it's an embarrassment of riches, but it's also going to create some little tension within that.
Well, I think Coach Washington is looking not only at this season, but he's looking ahead to next season when we go into the CAA, because that's a totally different animal.
Right.
And whoever the quarterback is, it won't be Jalen Fowler next year. So he's got to be able to lay his hands on a couple guys who are ready to go going into the CAA.
All right. So another thing that I'm a little bit worried about. I'm really a lot worried about.
Okay.
Is the interior of the defensive line. Because I looked at this depth chart, right?
Yeah.
And so I was hoping, I tried my best to sneak in and have like a drone over practice order. They shot it down. They had, some signals. I couldn't get as much information as I wanted through my normal means. So I was kind of in the dark.
Yeah.
I was hoping against hope that we had somehow recruited some Power 5 D tackles, one techniques, 3 techniques, some big techniques from somewhere
to
help shore up this, because we got Kafa Kaba, and we got Shamari Wallace,
right.
Then we got a whole bunch of freshmen, and I don't know if Central has an old team, right? I don't know if you want to send a red shirt or a true freshman against a 24, 25-year-old man and think that's going to work out. I'm just worried. I just don't know, man. I know that Coach Washington, I talked to him. He didn't have a problem with it. He said, those guys got to play fast, and he's got to coach them up. He said the key to playing younger guys on the defensive line is not giving them too much to do. So they might not be doing a whole bunch of stunts or whatever. They might just be going for it, But it's still freshman. And starters.
I think in large part, Coach Washington is probably in large part, I can see where he's not necessarily drowning in doubt about his defensive line, mostly because he has probably the best linebackers And you got to remember,
You got to keep them clean, though, Craig. You got to keep those linebackers clean. You can't have those guys being pushed back into the linebackers either, right?
Well, I will tell you this: you don't have a problem with the starters.
Yeah. I like Wallace and I like Carter.
If anybody had followed Jaheim Pittman over at Dudley High School, he's a man. He's a big, strong defensive tackle.
He's wearing 93 this year, and he's listed at 6'3", 295. Is Reggie, is that good enough for you? Defensive tackle, 6'3", 295. Are you okay with that? That's all right. Trues is the height, he's a height expert.
Yeah, and Caleb Jones was the defensive player of the year in the state of Virginia in 6A. Yeah. Consensus All-State. Had committed to Navy before we flipped him. He had FBS offers all over the place. He is a legitimate nose tackle, a true down and dirty. Bust heads. Take names. He's a true nose tackle. So. These kids are no slouch. If you have seen him in practice, he is the real deal. Even for a young kid, you can tell he's a step above the norm.
I love it and I believe you, but man, he's still a freshman, and I'm not sure how much heat Central has on that defensive on that offensive line.
Well, let's talk about Central.
Okay, all right. So let's shift to Central. You've been doing probably a little bit more scouting of the enemy than I have, right?
Always do.
Right. You do your homework. What do we have to be concerned about when it comes to Central's offense? I know they got the same quarterback from last year.
Yeah.
And is it safe to say that Central is a veteran-laden team? They have a lot of experience coming back?
Yes, and no. Yes, they have a lot of their kids back. But Trey Oliver wasn't depending on those guys to carry him this season. He went out. Actually, they brought in 24 transfers this year.
Wow, sounds like Jackson State.
Yeah, they're gonna. They've got. Totally redid their offensive line. They brought in 3 FBS transfers in their offensive line. They also they're going to start 9 altogether of their first 22. But
9 transfers.
Yeah, they got 3 in your offensive line, and they also brought in a transfer running back from Marshall.
Okay, so this is kind of giving me a little bit of pause now.
Defensively, they brought in 4 FBS transfers to come in and start for them right away. 2 of those are going to be defensive linemen, and 2 of those are going to be linebackers. So he understood his biggest problem last year was that he didn't have depth, and he didn't have enough experience to get him through to where he wants to go through. Yeah, they were 6 and 5, but if he's going to really tangle with South Carolina State, he had to get some older, more physical people up front. And that's what he's done.
Okay. So it doesn't sound quite like the cupcake I was hoping for.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to tell you guys for 2 months that Central is not the Central we played last year.
Okay. What's up, man? What's going on back there? So let's pump our brakes a little bit here now.
Right.
So, and Trey Oliver, you talk about feathering his cap. If he could come in to this opening week, Labor Day weekend, and knock off his mentor.
Yeah. It will make their season.
It'll make his career. This is a career-defining moment, man.
Yeah, you get him a contract extension, probably.
You put this on your resume. This is one of the top things on your resume.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a packed house. It might be 75% us, but it's going to be a packed Big American Stadium. It's going to be electric.
Well, Oliver is going into his 4th year down there now, and so he knows that he had 17 starters back. He knows that this should be the year where they really turn the corner all the way. They kind of leaned into it a little bit last year when they upset Norfolk State. They had the big comeback against them.
It was overtime, wasn't it?
Yeah. They came from like 21 down in the fourth quarter
Right.
and sent it into overtime and won it. But he understands that if he's going to make a move, he's going to have to do that this year with Davis Richard at quarterback, junior. He is their offense. Everything revolves off of him. So when he decided to go out and get him some protection, because the biggest problem he had with Central last year was their offense broke down because they couldn't block anybody.
Right.
So that's, bringing in those FBS transfers is probably going to help that situation. But on the flip side, they lost a lot on the defensive side. And frankly, looking at the matchup of our offense against our offensive front against their defensive front, he understands he's up against it because the A&T's offensive line is huge.
So you're saying offensively, you expect us to still be able to win line of scrimmage and establish a run game?
I expect that, yes.
Okay, and then like you say, everybody here knows football, right?
Yeah.
I'm not preaching to the choir,
or at least think they do.
I think they do. Once you establish that running game, that play action,
yeah,
is activated, you start going up top because they got to start bringing guys in the box. And then, first of all, nobody wants to tackle big Sean Dixon anyway.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a business decision anytime he gets the ball, right? But if we can just have them commit a little bit to that box, then you got probably, I say, one of the at least top 3 wide receiver cores in all FCS football.
Yeah, the biggest thing that Central has to do if they're going to win this game is they're going to have to stay out of man-to-man matchups. They can't afford to allow their linebackers or their defensive backs to get in isolation mode. If that happens, then it's going to be a long day. But by the same token, what A&T has to do, A&T's got to execute. And that was the sore point especially with our offensive line last year. I'm less concerned about the defense than I am about the having the offensive line operate as a cohesive unit this year. If A&T's offensive line comes to play, A&T will win this ball game.
Any question about special teams? Because
not on our end.
We got Money Brown.
Right.
He's not in Kennesaw, Georgia, right? So he's good, right? That's the only place where he wasn't Money Brown.
Right.
And we got this dude who's Jack, right? He's
Caleb Brickhouse.
Caleb Brickhouse, that guy. He was a guest on the
Thunderfoot. He's got an incredibly strong leg.
And you saw him at the picnic, right?
Right.
And he looked as impressive in person as he looked at his IG photos, right?
When you look at him, you think he's a defensive end.
Yeah,
he's a big guy.
So he can kick the mile out.
Yeah,
football mile.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best ones out there.
So special team wise, we think we're good. Quarterback's a question. Running back here, I think we're solid. Wide receiver, offensive line, gonna figure it out. Defensive line. I know our ends are going to be coming downhill.
Oh, Harold and Daniel, the two best in the Big South.
We could do a fundraiser now, pick how many sacks they get, because I think that's going.
The over or under between the two is 20
this season.
Yeah.
And then that revamp secondary, right? Yeah. So that was definitely one of the sore spots for this year's last year's team. Coach, first of all, he did some reshuffling, right? Yeah. He moved Coach Howard to linebackers,
right?
Raleigh and Macarinas.
Yeah.
And he's got rave reviews so far as BB coach. And got this big-time transfer from Kansas, Karan Plenty.
Real deal, KP. Yeah, real good.
Mary Neal just passed me notes. Okay, so Craig, you got to learn how your monitors work. There you go. His better half is our production assistant, Missy over there helping us out. Missy trying. So we're gonna get refocused. So I was talking about the secondary.
Right.
I think we're about 2 deep everywhere, even at the safety positions. We got Michael Saludin. You got Avion Cole behind him. And on our depth chart, this was kind of interesting. We had Janaz Sumner backing up Plenty as a second string corner.
Yeah.
And so he's coming on fast. Other side we had, let's see, Mary Neal started corner on the other side, on the back side, and then Aaron Harris. And you might remember Aaron Harris, the guy who returned that 100-yard kickoff in the last game of the season on the web. So he has to learn.
Yeah.
So I think pretty much on every level. Who? Now we can't forget the linebacker. Greg said this, and I kind of went past it. Let's spend a segment on these linebackers because, quite frankly, I haven't seen everybody on our schedules their whole depth chart, but it's gonna be hard. Anybody's gonna be hard pressed to match Taquan King and Jacob Roberts on the inside.
Yeah.
So those guys just monsters.
And,
don't know what they say.
Yeah, and don't forget Stuckey on the outside.
Joseph
Stuckey on the outside. One of the most tenacious outside linebackers I've seen in a long time here. We've had some good ones under the Broadway era, but Stuckey's cut from a little bit different cloth.
And Stuckey's been quiet. Like he hasn't really been on social media this whole offseason.
Right.
And that's gonna give you something to worry about. Because usually, when the guys ain't saying nothing and they just fly the skip, they're gonna let their play do the talk for him. And I guess he's gonna make a nice loud statement on Saturday.
Yeah. There's excellent depth behind those starters too. Samuel Furry, Malachi Edwards. There's a whole laundry list of linebackers in there, and all those guys can play. And you're gonna see just about all of them play at one time or another. And they're fast. They get to the ball and they will flat hit you.
They hit you hard,
very hard.
And that's kind of one of the main things I'm looking forward to. See those guys play downhill. They can stay clean. I just don't want these guards pulling and pushing out defense stands all the way back to the goalpost.
Well, I can tell you what Central's game plan is going to mirror that of A&T.
Right.
If you watch Central the last couple of years, they're very similar to the Raw Broadway teams of say 2014, 2015. Right. They're going to run the ball.
But see, the only difference between those teams and what Central was at least last year was the turnovers. They turn the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
And so if they can eliminate that, then they can start kind of following that blueprint there.
Well, again, they concentrated on trying to get their offensive line retooled, and hopefully for them, they're hoping that those transfers that they brought in will be the magic trick for them. Transfers can work one of two ways. They can be a godsend, but if you depend entirely on transfers, you're probably digging your own grave, because it's a feast or famine when you start that many. And like I said, they're starting like 9. That's a lot.
Gotcha. All right, guys. So we're still here at City BBQ here in Greensboro on Lawndale Drive. And this is a first of its kind event. We're doing our podcast. We've been doing it for almost, I guess, over a year now, huh, Greg?
Right.
And we finally decided to take it on the road. And we didn't just do that by ourselves. We had a lot of people who came up with the vision and helped us bring it to fruition. A lot of movers and shakers out here, some guardian angels, to be honest with you. Because everyone knows, I'm kind of like the big idea guy, but I'm a scatterbrain. I can't bring, X's and, small details. If I go to IKEA, I take the manual and throw it in the trash and try to figure it out. I don't have the time just to go through all the minute details. So, but we need somebody to make those happen, And so we actually linked up with a brother who that's kind of his skill set. He's super organized, and he is really one of the brainchilds behind this whole event. And so, Mark, it's like, Greg, we're gonna go to the mic, man. Go. Can you see them? Y'all kind of scoot together. There he is.
There you go.
There you go. So this is Mr. Marcus Ledbetter. Talk to Mike. Make sure you do live.
Aggie Pride, everybody.
Y'all hear Marcus? Y'all hear as much?
Aggie Pride, everybody.
There you go. Right. That's another thing. Fix my mic. There you go. And so this event, we're here right now. And people don't know, we've been here since about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to play with cords and lights, and we was asking them, could we take the whole restaurant? They was like, hell no, y'all can sit in the corner. We said, all right, thank you. But the guy who facilitated us even being here is Mr. Marcus Ledbetter. First of all, can I tell your whole role in this? Because without you, this wouldn't be possible.
All right, so Aggie Pride to everybody. I am class of 2001. This started with the CEO of BEM Sports. He came to me last November and asked me to plan a event to feed families. So because his group is actually spearheaded by HBCUs, I said, well, why don't we feed athletes who are not actually going home? So he said, well, I was going to go to City BBQ in Raleigh and actually buy a bunch of meals. So come to find out, we had a City BBQ here. So I came here and I spoke to actually management and I told them my idea. And within an hour, I had a call back saying, we would love to do that. We love to do things outside of the restaurant in the community. So they fed athletes who didn't go home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And I was in charge of trying to get everybody in line. So from golf, tennis, your volleyball, your football, your baseball team, everybody that did not go home actually came out. So I continue to have a just talking, relationship, and I love their, mac and cheese. So anyway,
and look, the food out here is incredible.
the food is amazing. The mac and cheese is amazing.
And if you order something, you don't have to get it to go, because I have not seen anybody
Because it's gonna put you down.
who has been able to eat a whole platter.
You're gonna go to bed after you have actually City BBQ.
And so my kids gonna be here. My son's in football practice, so my wife's gonna bring him in. Like that's gonna be their dinner and lunch tomorrow.
Right.
Don't even
Right. I got a bag over here in the corner already.
Right. So y'all guys, we still got time. We're gonna be here at 8:30 tonight. So if you're in Greensboro, you're in High Point, wherever, if you're in driving distance, come through here, get some barbecue, and then what happens is, and this is something you kind of set up for us, 20% of all the food that we buy
It's going to
It's
Aggie
going back to
Athletic,
us.
Aggie Athletic Foundation. It's going back to them. I set it up to where it comes back to A&T. I'm a proud North Carolina A&T alumnus.
Right.
And I love all things A&T, and anything I can do as an alumni to give back in any way, I love to really do that. I don't really do this to be seen. I do this because North Carolina has given me so much. I'm a country boy from Waysboro, North Carolina, who started A&T in 1996. Ralph Dean Brown recruited me to come to A&T in 1995.
So we're missing our key
Doug
guy.
Brown, his son.
Doug Brown is his son. He's on the injury reserve right now.
Right.
But he'll be back hopefully this weekend.
So I do this because I love North Carolina A&T and what they instilled it in me, because I'm able to now work in some of the top lead tiers of what I do and be able to stand proud and say that I am a North Carolina A&T State University alumni. I can stand next to NC State. I can stand next to Carolina. I can stand next to Appalachian and be just as good. Sometimes I'm even better. But I do this because we as A&T, this is what we do. We give back in any way possible. So I think...
And that's a good point, because it's not just about wearing your blue and gold.
It's more than that. It takes more than homecoming to make A&T run. I want all the Aggies to really know that. You have to work throughout the year.
Right.
A&T homecoming is a celebration, but it takes more for us to go out and actually, help A&T through, a lot of fundraisers. It takes money to make A&T run. We don't just show up and A&T just have money. We have to go out and find internships and grants and scholarships to make this work. I was trained by some major A&T alum.
Some heavy hitters, huh?
Some heavy hitters, and one of them walked in the room. Her name is Leonore Bryant.
Oh, stop there. So Leonore Bryant is the only reason why I have a degree right now. Because where's she at? Where's Leonore? So Leonore. So first of all, she'll tell the story. I had about 13 cents my senior year in college. I was working at UPS, and I think I was a pool hustler. I was doing constant bills trying to make it. I was losing all my money. That's so. And I walked in there, and I didn't know about financial aid. I didn't know about nothing. I said, Miss Bryant, I ain't got no money. I'm trying to graduate. And I don't know what she did. She started typing in there, and
her and Jesus actually are tight. Gotta be.
She found me some money to get into A&T.
But she's the reason that I go hard for A&T, because she taught me that after graduation, that's where all of the work starts. Is to really show love to A&T and give back. But this came about as a conversation with Doug. And I said, well, why don't we have a live podcast live at City BBQ?
And the answer to that is we don't know the hell we doing. So we were lucky to get on the internet. And you were talking about live, and I was like, okay, let's, you said, because Doug was, and you guys were like, let's go ahead and do it. We got to, this is, we call it, you got to take a chance, you got to seize the moment.
If you don't ask, you don't get. And so you guys asked, and I joked about it, but City BBQ has been over backwards. Anything that we asked them to do, they say, sure, do it. And the food is good.
And the food's great.
And the mac and cheese is great.
And we got here at 3:00. There was still customers here, and we was like doing mic checks. People was eating macaroni and cheese and brisket, and they didn't care. So I mean, this is the most gracious staff I've ever been a part of. We definitely want to keep coming back and supporting you guys.
We definitely want to come back.
Let me give you the address. What's the address, man? I wrote it down. I'm bad. 2647 Lawndale Drive. And if you come down Lawndale, it's right over here across from Panera Bread.
In the front of Target. Harris Teeter.
Harris Teeter. I never go to Harris Teeter, man. Their prices, I don't know.
I'm just here to talk about the podcast.
All right, I'm sorry. I get distracted. But so we're gonna definitely be coming back here because no other way.
I would like for us to come every home game week on a Wednesday.
Every home game week.
Mm-hmm.
So we got what, 6 home games?
We got 6 home games. And I won't make it.
Hey, look. So Marcus says that, but he don't know that we was here for about 2 hours when we got here, and we were plugging stuff and everything. We plugged a cord to the soda machine. And, we didn't know what
I just showed up.
So this is a learning curve for real. I think next time we're gonna do it fast. We'll get it down. But Marcus, thank you for. And, this is a big announcement too, because Marcus has officially joined the BlueDeathEye.com staff.
I haven't signed any paperwork.
But he has signed by proxy. I had someone sign on his behalf.
I haven't signed any paperwork.
But he's gonna be our senior vice president of corporate development, or whatever title we can think of is even better than that.
I'm just waiting on the contract.
There you go. But Marcus is part of BlueDeathEye.com family because he has the vision, the passion that we need. He's an Aggie.
I'm a diehard Aggie.
Through and through. So thank you so much, Marcus. We're going to keep this going, man.
Yeah, I got to get call from City BBQ. I see there's a call in the back. Can I get call from City BBQ? I want Carl to come up and talk about all the things City BBQ because what?
What's Carl? Who the main man Carl is? Is Carl busy?
Carl has to come up because
real quick.
I want everybody to know that during our tailgating is huge for A&T football.
How's it going, everybody?
All right.
So, Carl, grab that mic, Carl.
How's it going out there?
All right, so y'all kind of scooting together or something. There you go.
All right.
There you go. All right, so this is my main man, Carl. You are the manager.
I'm the general manager here at this location.
The general manager, of this fabulous location. And you know what? I was working before the pandemic. I was working in Charlotte, and I was familiar with the one over at University. I used to go there twice a week, man.
That's a great location. I trained there.
Perfect. And so when I saw they was have one in Greensboro, I was like, this is gonna be crazy. But I'll be honest with you, it didn't seem like it was the best kept secret. Because I drive down here and I'm like, sometimes I forget it's over here. And then my wife, she went a couple weeks ago, and she said, they got this new barbecue spot in Greenville. I said, yeah, we need to go. So you guys are still trying to get your name out there. You're trying to still
Definitely. We're a pretty new location. It's about a year and a half old. So we're been here. We got busy in the first beginning. Drive-thrus wrapped around. Now we're trying to get back to the community when we got the time to do it. One of the tenets of City BBQ is really give back to the community, supporting those who support us.
All right, so my wife and my two boys, they're big guys. They want to eat some food. What do you recommend they get when they get here? Give me some for a family of three. What should they get?
You gotta get the mac and cheese.
Definitely mac and cheese for the kids. Everything's great. We make everything here scratch. We smoke all the meats here on site. And there's not a single thing here that we don't make ourselves. We do have a freezer, but it's not this big.
Yeah. And you don't have to actually come in and sit down. You can get takeout and you have drive-through.
We've got the drive-through. We've got an online ordering system. We can delivery through DoorDash. We've also got a catering department.
You do catering, so anybody got a big event and they want to feed the multitudes, right? It can be biblical out here. You guys are able to do it.
Oh yeah, well we do $5,000 weddings all the time. We do big events, graduation, anything you can think of.
And tailgate.
And tailgate.
And tailgate. All right, so some of y'all G-Ho folks, y'all planning something, especially that whole week, might be something to consider. All right, so thank you so much for.
Now, what are you guys having for the holidays? Because I don't cook.
Holidays we're doing smoked turkeys and hams.
Okay.
So you don't have to cook yourself. We can do the sides for you as well. We'll have everything ready.
And it's already cut?
The ham will not be cut because when you put it in the smoker, it'll penetrate too much.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of science behind that.
Oh man, that's technical.
Yeah.
It gets that way.
I thought you was a serve food. You know the ins and outs of it.
Our brisket and our pork, it's 12, 16 hours.
Yeah, brisket's what I like. See, I'm Texas, so that's what we do in Texas. That brisket.
We're trying to compete with Texas.
Hey, you're doing a very good job so far.
Appreciate
Oh,
that.
and side note, they got the best lemonade outside of Chick-fil-A. You guys are kind of neck and neck. You guys are kind of neck and neck. Yeah, it's really good. I just want to say thank you. If I can get the bag actually behind me,
Quick.
there's an A&T bag.
Oh,
So as an honorary,
it's kind of classy. Kind of classy.
as an honorary, as a thank you, Aggies go hard for anyone that show us love and support, and you have really did that from back in November. So if I can say that, hopefully we can work on something for the second annual feeding the athletes for Thanksgiving, because it was a big success. I mean, it was kids that were thanking us for having a meal. So I would like to just say, really, we would love to do the second annual with City BBQ. I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, you're good.
It's okay. I'm sure you'll call somebody. It's all right. But that was one of the best things that I've ever planned, was to see those athletes and students that did not go home have a hot meal. So I appreciate that. So hopefully we can get that. But this is a token of appreciation to say to the honorary Aggie that you now are. So whether it's in homecoming week is ready to come, you may be a little bit lighter than a lot of us, but it's okay. We're all family. We have all races, creeds, and colors that are A&T alum. We love all. So again, we want to say thank you for letting us come into your business and showcase Aggie pride, Aggie love. And we hope that we can continue doing this and bringing you a lot of revenue. So I say thank you.
Before you do that, you gotta give us Aggie pride though. You gotta give us that Aggie pride.
I know you haven't practiced. It's okay. It's okay. I don't want to scare them. I don't want to scare them.
You said I was working at Wake Forest recently. So.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Aggie pride.
It'll work.
Thanks a lot, man.
Oh, appreciate it, guys.
There you go. There you go.
Now we have to buy some tickets to the game.
You gotta make sure, as long as you bring some mac and cheese and cornbread and brisket and sliced turkey and the chicken, you can come.
All right, throw some brisket in there too.
And some brisket.
All right.
And a gallon of lemonade.
Thanks a lot, guys.
You guys.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate you guys coming out. Love to keep working with you guys.
Absolutely.
We'll do.
You guys enjoy your night.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we still City BBQ. We're gonna be here for like another 35 minutes if you guys want to come out. Actually, they don't close till 9:30. So even when we stop our podcast, they're still open. So if you missed the podcast, come through, get some food. You will not regret it. It's that good. So Craig,
Yeah.
man, this is the website, the podcast, everything's growing, man, and this is the perfect week for it. We got Labor Day weekend. That Dukes Mayo Aggie-Eagle Classic, so much to talk about, so much we got going on.
Yeah.
But we have one more special guest that we want to bring to the show tonight before we let go. And he actually he's a Greensboro guy like Doug. Well, like Doug, right now he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And we want to bring to the show. And he also has this distinction of being the only two-time guest.
Really?
Two-time guest in the history of Inside the Valley.
That's big.
It is.
That's big.
That is. My main man, my partner, Mr. Al Barnett.
How you doing, Samad?
How you doing? It's good to see you, man.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Al, you kind of humble me, man.
How so?
I turned 47 a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I know you're a few months older than me,
A few months.
but you look about 10 years younger than me.
52. 52.
No.
52.
So I don't know what's speaking. Hey, Craig, you got to jump on the mic here. We're going to have you part of this
Come
conversation.
on, Craig. Join the party.
So, Al, let's jump into it.
All right.
The last time we saw you, you were about to be inducted into the 2021 A&T Hall of Fame.
Thanks.
One of the most celebrated, decorated defensive backs in school history. We didn't get a chance to talk to you since then. How was that weekend for you? What was that like?
It was a great weekend. It was a great weekend. You had an opportunity to kind of think a lot of people helped you along the way.
Yeah.
You know, I thought about my parents, they're still living and couldn't make it because of COVID and that sort of thing. But had a great opportunity for a lot of wonderful teammates. And of course, everyone knows how Coach Hayes, how much of a character he is.
Yes, yeah.
Now, he hasn't changed much. And so it was a great weekend. It really was. I was blessed to be a part of it.
Also, we're super proud of you because, you've always been a friend of BlueDevilValley.com. So
Yeah.
you're like, hey, I know that guy. He's one of us. But this weekend, we got the Aggie-Eagle Classic.
Yeah.
And you know a little bit something about playing Central.
Yeah,
In your storied career, I think you were undefeated against Central. Is that correct?
I was undefeated, absolutely. As a matter of fact, in preparation for the show,
Okay.
I decided to go back and take a look at the record book.
Yes.
And I didn't realize
Right.
that my class
Yes.
started the 12 games in a row, the longest winning streak by either side.
That's awesome. And I did some similar research too. And you guys, so you got there with 88,
88.
and you redshirted 88.
I registered in 88.
89, 90, 91, 92.
Yep.
And you guys, you just didn't get some narrow wins. These
We
were
thrashed them.
some beatdowns.
Yeah, we thrashed.
1999,
Yeah,
A&T 24,
yeah.
Central
Was
6.
Yeah, okay.
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 1990,
Yeah,
A&T 21,
yeah.
Central 6.
Right. It was the last 2 years, though.
But listen,
The last 2 years.
the Blue Devils gave up 2 touchdowns. So in 1991, Blue Devils said enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
A&T 49.
Was that zero? That zero?
Central
Okay.
zero.
Okay. I think it was 48-0 and then 49-6.
48-0.
Yeah.
My penmanship is terrible.
Okay.
48-0.
Yeah, let's get it right. Let's get it right.
In 1992, your senior year,
Yeah.
49-7.
That was sweet.
They got
That was sweet.
Yeah. Those some beatdowns.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you play an arch rival, you don't want to just beat them. You want to make them look bad.
That's my point. Craig.
Yeah.
You can attest to that. When we go down to Central this weekend, we don't want to just eke out a win. We want to make a statement because we got some tough games behind it.
Yeah.
We got momentum.
Oh yeah.
What did the legendary coach Bill Hayes tell you guys in preparation for playing Central?
I think the big thing that I remember from Coach Hayes, he had a lot of great stories.
Okay.
And his stories were always filled with passion and heart, and how he would give everything to win a game.
Yeah.
And he told about a couple of stories where he came up a little short and how he was just devastated. And the thing is, We wanted to leave the field with no regrets. Make no mistake about it. It's going to be the talk of North Carolina. It's going to be the talk of HBCU in this region.
Right.
And so we had to make a statement. And that's the thing. Make a statement. And so, you know, he talked about putting the kiss of death on the opponents and some other things he did. And, you know, we laughed. But when it came time to strap them pads on, the tape was a little tighter. The wraps were a little tighter. The focus, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of playing around. You know, everybody was locked in because we knew what was at stake. I mean, he's bragging rights. This is it. I mean, you win this game, we talk about it all year. So that's how it was.
How do you not? And back then, were you guys playing Central the first game of the season?
I think it was for the first game of the year. It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's even a different element because you know when I went to school, it was always Aggie-Eagle Classic, and Carter Finley. You know, it was in Charlotte. I mean, it was in Raleigh for a few years. Yeah. And you come out with so much opposed because you ready to hit somebody with different colors.
Somebody different. Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
But you gotta stay disciplined. You can't just run around getting a bunch of penalties and things like that. You gotta stay focused.
You want to play with controlled aggression.
Yes.
That's it. Controlled aggression. You want to make sure that you can execute the plan, but you also want to match their energy. You know, there's a whole lot of trash talking. That's going to be a part of the game.
Right.
But you want to stay at that line. You don't want to cross that line. You know, you want to be aggressive. You want to be just tenacious. You want to knock their tape off. But at the same time, you want to execute the plan. You want to be able to be smart and think. So if there's an adjustment in the middle of the game based on formation and some tendencies, you can make those adjustments and make a play. That's the thing.
All right, so this weekend, we're going to be introducing a few new players on our defense side of the ball, right?
Okay.
And you heard my comments earlier. I don't know if you hear it, but I'm kind of concerned about the defense line.
Okay.
And you don't have defense stars. You know, it starts with good guys
up front,
especially the interior.
Yeah.
When you play, give me some names of some of those heavy hitters who kept that 3 technique locked down.
Well, Reggie White was a big one for us. I think he was about 6'6", about 320. I think he was actually recruited by Maryland, had a little injury, and so we were able to steal him.
Right. Does anybody here remember Reggie White?
I
remember him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we had Knox Thompson, had a brother was in the league back in the day.
Okay.
I think he was about 6'6", about 350, 360. We had Kevin Little on the outside, just from South Carolina, could run all over the place.
Yeah.
He's probably about 6'4", about 250 defensive end, linebacker. We even had Gilchrist. Most people don't know that name. He was about 6'6", about 380 probably. He was a big boy.
All right, well, any of these guys, true freshmen.
Ooh.
These defensive linemen you're talking about, but any of these guys, true freshmen.
No, we were seasoned.
Well, anybody a redshirt freshman?
Nah.
Okay, so that's kind of concerns me because I don't know if you've seen the depth chart. Man.
No, I haven't seen the depth chart.
You've seen this depth chart, but
This one here.
we got a bunch of FRs. A lot of these guys' names, man. And I just gives me a little bit of trepidation.
Yeah. Well, you hope that we have senior leadership. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have senior leadership,
and we do. We get the guys in front of them. We got
that can go a long way too.
We got a graduate.
Yeah. Okay.
In Carter Cava.
Okay.
And we got a red shirt senior.
Okay.
In front of the other guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's
good.
That's real good. Okay. That's real good. I mean, that'll bring the young guys along. You cannot say enough about leadership.
Right.
I mean, to be able to calm those guys down, to be able to help them to know what to expect, because if you've never been a part of an Aggie-Eagle contest, now we had 2 that we played in Greensboro, and then I think we had 2 that we played in Charlotte when I was playing. And so
y'all played Charlotte.
Yeah.
So was this Memorial Stadium?
Yes.
Okay, that's right, kind of uptown. Yeah. But that's a small little intimate place.
It's small, intimate, very loud.
So that must have been rocking.
It was. Yeah, it was a great environment.
Yeah.
And again, if you have not been a part of that environment, you're gonna need some elder statesmen to kind of say, hey, this is what you expect.
Right.
You know, don't go out and do things that are uncharacteristic. Play within yourself. You know, you want to play together. You don't want to be a lone ranger out there and just kind of do your own thing. Follow the game plan. Follow what we practice all week. So
turnovers a big thing right now, Rivalry. Turnovers. Get
Yeah,
turnovers.
turnovers, special teams. I think early, the swinging that momentum. The younger the team, the more important it is, I think, to kind of get out to a great start. The older, more experienced, they've been across a lot of different battles, and so they've been able to overcome some adversity. They've seen a whole lot.
Right. Well, you know a little bit about turnovers because, and this is a stat that still to this day boggles my mind. In your senior season,
Junior season.
your junior season, like I said,
Yeah.
your junior season. Let me know here. Yeah. You had, and this, Reggie, this don't even sound right. I'm about to give you a number that don't even sound right. This does not sound realistic. This brother next to me had 11 interceptions
11 interceptions.
in his junior year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This gets, I don't know what the question is.
Yeah.
Just tell me about how that happened.
Combination. It's really all about teamwork. It really is. I mean, Coach Leeward Ferguson was the defensive coordinator.
Yes.
He did a lot of exotic schemes where we would disguise coverages that help.
Right.
Hit the big boys up front, putting pressure. If they don't have a whole lot of time, they're prone to make a lot of mistakes.
And that's what I mean. You get that and Coach Washington said this last year. The best pass defense is a pass rush.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you get that quarterback from his spot, throwing up his back foot, you might throw that thing into somebody like you, and you ready to get it. Huh?
If he's running for his life, if he's right-handed, he's running to his left. Those things can make that ball fly and float and do a whole lot of crazy things. And here I am on the other side of that thing.
So like, when you in that thing, then you like every week just like clockwork. Are you expecting to get one?
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, not only am I expecting, I'm planning what's going to happen when I get it.
Oh, okay. I got
so we did something Howard. We said, hey, we get an interception, we take it back to the house, pick 6.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the next T plunge. It was a commercial back in the day.
So y'all were able to do that back in the day, like getting ejected and thrown out in flags?
I didn't say all that.
Okay.
I just said that when we got to pick 6, this is what we're gonna do.
Right.
And so we celebrated, we did our thing, we got flagged. Coach Hayes was mad as fish grease. He was mad. But you know what? We knew that if we did that, they didn't like it. But as long as we played, everything's gonna be good. And so that's it. So if you cause a penalty, you better make sure you on your A game. You better make sure they don't get anything.
Right.
That's how it was.
And so if you can say anything to those secondary guys who are playing now, those Blue Death 2022 guys, what's some good information you give them about getting interceptions and making plays Saturday?
The big thing is film study. It really is. I mean, tendencies. We were looking at everything. If they're kicking a blade of grass, okay, does that mean they're going to pass to the right or pass to the left? If they're adjusting their gloves, if they're down in the stands, every clue. If they're looking to the left, to the right all game, and all of a sudden now they're looking to the right, to the left, you pick up on every tendency, everything that they do that can give you a clue. Their stances, if they're leaning one way or the other, down in distance. So coaching, tendencies, and trust your training.
That's it. You know what? And that's one of the things that I think some people might have kind of overlooked when it comes to those 90 Blue Death squads. You just think about athleticism and brute force.
Yeah.
But you guys were cerebral.
Yeah. You had to be.
Because like you say, Leonard Ferguson, he had a sophisticated scheme.
He did. He took a lot of things that Miami was running. And there were some other schools. I mean, honestly, we had Bethune-Cookman. They were throwing the ball all over the place.
Right.
So if you didn't know how to cover trips, if you didn't know how to rob the backside, front side, if you didn't know how to roll coverages, if you didn't disguise it, I mean, I look back on it now, we were well ahead of our time. I mean, we led the NCAA in turnovers. We led the whole NCAA, 1AA back in the day.
Man.
So, I mean, again, it's scheme, guys up front. And here's the thing that we talk about a lot, is culture as well.
And,
do you love the guys that you're playing with?
Right.
Do you trust those guys? And when you're around guys and you can tell when they're going to do something, man, it's amazing how you can kind of feed off that energy. You can do some things a little differently. I knew if certain blitzes were called and certain coverages, certain formations, I knew I could cheat a little bit. I knew that ball had to come out quick.
You know what? And I think that is one of the things in the off season that probably gives me the most optimism is that Coach Washington addressed that. Yeah. That culture, because we were kind of this way, right? That's not a secret, right? At the end of the day, going on the real game, we just look all out of sorts, and something had to change.
Yeah.
And I think, to his credit, Coach Watson looked in the mirror.
Okay.
He did a Michael Jackson deal.
Okay.
Yeah, he looked in the man in the mirror.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And it just feels different, man. I tell you, you go to the A&T Fan Fest, and they had a little scrimmage, and the sidelines, there was still energy and passion.
Yeah.
It just seems like a little bit more focused.
Right.
You know, everybody was just locked in a little bit more.
Yeah. And that's important. It really is. It really is. That culture, doing the little things. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but here's a little idiosyncrasy I have. I can tell about the quality, the character of a team on how to lead their locker room.
As far as like the condition?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
How much pride do you have?
Right.
You know, are you going to allow somebody else to do it, or is it going to be on you? Are you going to take the initiative? You know, are you going to put your best foot forward? You know, what that locker room, how you leave the bus, how you leave the hotel.
Yeah.
You know, that's a level of professionalism. That's a level of attention to detail, accountability.
Yeah.
All of that. It's important.
Yeah, people think I coach youth ball.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I'm telling you, people think that's just post speech.
Yeah.
That defensively adds to wins and losses.
Yeah.
Those little things right there, if you add them up at the end of the season, that's like 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
You don't have those things.
Yeah, the attention to detail, especially in the fourth quarter when you're fatigued.
Right.
You know, that mind doesn't, I mean, what Vince Lombardi says, a coward, fatigue makes a coward of us all. So if you can think during the first quarter as well as the fourth quarter, you got yourself something there. You got yourself something.
Well, man, look here. First of all, thank you so much for coming back out for show.
Always a pleasure.
I think I called you yesterday afternoon about 3 o'clock.
That's okay.
I'm like, Al,
Yeah.
I need you, man.
Hey, look, there's some people when they call, you always answer.
Yeah.
You know, you always make every accommodation. And again, I love your show. Appreciate what you're doing. I love the courage that you exhibit. You know, hey, you talk about things sometimes people don't want to talk about.
Right.
And the reality is you love this program. And you want to see it move forward, continue to move forward. And you know, we're going to be all right. We are. We got some challenges now. And we can't sweep those under the rug. But here's what we do know. Never, ever doubt an Aggie.
Amen. Thank you so much, man.
Sir.
Hey, this is Hall of Famer, Alonzo Barnett II. Al, thank you so much. There you go. Hold that up here, Greg. So, Marcus, you want to introduce? We got one more guest actually we want to bring in here to give a little bit of credit.
All right, we got one more person who's actually responsible for really all of this. Honestly.
Right. Go ahead.
Honestly, his name is Barry. He's over there talking.
Barry.
But actually, Barry is the CEO of BEM Sports Entertainment, and he entrusted in me back in November to plan an event.
Right.
I didn't know what a City BBQ was. I was like, I don't even know what that is. It was like this, you know, there's actually one in Raleigh. I was like, okay, so I came in here, and so really the reason why we're kind of sitting here is because of Barry. So I'm going to let Barry introduce himself.
And I know this brother because he was on our show last year, and he came at the end last year and was one of our best guests. So bring it up, please, man. My brother.
What's going on?
Hey, first of all, let's talk about the Cowboys real quick. Listen, everybody's talking down the Cowboys. I feel pretty good on what Jerry Jones is doing, man.
Hey, look, man, you know how it is. You saw that number 2 back there get that kickoff for a touchdown.
And they found him.
And then we got that punt for a touchdown.
Same game.
And he was the MVP of the USFL.
Yeah. That's right.
And yeah, we good.
So I feel good on the Cowboys, man. They start off with 2 weeks. They got.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to go. I can use some goat meat, you know. I can use some goat meat, some of the Jamaican goat, you know.
We play goat with Tampa Bay. So we don't focus on that. But right now, we got the Aggie-Eagle Classic, Charlotte, and everybody around here is excited. And first of all,
Don't put me on the spot.
We're going to
Don't do that. Put me on the spot.
put you on the spot to say.
Why you put me on the spot?
Because you're a strong man with strong opinions, right? Give me your thoughts. What's A&T going to do on Saturday, man?
Why you want to get me in trouble right now?
Well, listen, because you got some connections to Central. You around that program also.
Yeah, I got some connections. Big shout out Coach Hayes, love you, baby. Big shout out Bill Hayes. That's my man right there.
Yes, sir. But so
You still trying to get me in trouble, ain't you?
yeah, I'm trying to get back. I want you to give us a prediction, man. You
My
feel
prediction?
You feel good about what the Aggies bringing, or you think you're gonna run?
I mean, I feel good with A&T. You know, I watch A&T and I look at their roster every year and look at what they bring in. And one thing I noticed, you know, ever since when Broadway was here, you know, when Broadway was at North Carolina Central, he was an interior guy.
Right.
He was always that interior guy. So that's one thing that I noticed at A&T, that they always did the interior. And so, I mean, right now,
Man, this will be a real short interview, man. I'm telling you.
Okay, man. If I have to pick right now, I'm gonna have to go with the Knicks. I say Central by 13.
Oh, my Lord, did I hear that? Did the studio audience hear that prediction?
You put me on the spot.
Central by 13.
I have to go with the Knicks. I have to go with the Knicks.
BJ, you hear that, man? You hear the services?
Hey, you put me on the spot.
This guy said Central by 13 on Saturday.
Hey, you put me on the spot.
Man.
Hey, I have to be the neutral party here.
Look here, man. I don't know what no more. Let's talk about your organization, because look, this is the second time on our show,
Yes.
and I know your organization is still growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Tell me the name of your operation.
Well, it's called BEM Sports Entertainment.
Right.
Our slogan is where education fuels athletics.
Right.
This organization I started almost about 10 years ago. Being an employee at North Carolina Central with Coach Hayes. And when he left and went to Winston-Salem State, he pulled me down to Winston-Salem State and doing the same, same thing down there. And just being a part of the HBCU culture and seeing what we go through and how we go through and how things are done. Exactly.
We love each other, but we all attend.
Exactly. And that's one thing that I like to see, and just seeing what HBCU don't get and what PWIs get.
Yeah.
That's just one of the things that I wanted to give back to the HBCUs.
You didn't pay attention to the news?
Oh, you talking about the thing that happened this past Saturday?
I was talking about Florida A&M.
That's what I'm talking about too.
Right. Okay. And so a lot of people got some serious opinions on who's at fault, who's to blame. But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to resources. I think it comes down to institutionally.
No.
You disagree?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about it.
You don't have 26 players on a football team don't get eligible through NCAA. That means compliance don't know what they're doing.
So they only have one compliance officer on staff.
And what I've been reading, like I do my research on it, with BEM Sports Entertainment, how I follow a lot of stuff when it comes to HBCUs.
Yeah.
I think they got like one compliance person for like every 300 students.
That's not enough.
That's not enough.
Especially with this new transfer
Well,
portal.
between you look at it with the NIL, and kids trying to get paid and all of that. Yeah,
Power Fives are hiring people just for NIL.
they're hiring just compliance officers just by themselves.
But yeah, stand alone.
Staying alone.
Yeah.
So what the compliance do is because they know that these guys are getting paid, they know they're trying to get a check or whichever part of it. You know how that is, and it's just what it is. But for HBCU to go through that, me personally, that all comes down to compliance. Because when you go back, if you go back and look at the article, the president fired the AD. Now the AD is the number 2 at Tulane.
Yeah,
So how you fire the AD?
They ran Courtney Ghost out of there.
Exactly. You run him out of there, and then he gets hired at Tulane to be the number 2.
And you got a boy in your place, and the president over there is not looking too sharp.
Exactly. And then you don't want to meet with the people. You don't want to meet with the players.
Well, now they're doing
You don't want
management. So this
So
whole
you know how that is. That's the PR part. That's the PR part.
yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's the part that what drives BEM Sports Entertainment,
Okay.
because of those type of things. That shouldn't be there.
Right.
It shouldn't be in that order. And we want to be able to be advocates for that, because we want to help them be where the PWI should be. Like as Dion was saying, we need an even playing field,
Right.
and it's not fair. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, with me being in the university system and being in the boardrooms and sitting in the business plans and all that stuff, and I got to sit and I'm listening to the dollar signs, and it's not making sense. That's a problem.
So what? Like, so we met you 2021, right?
You met me last year when
Right Thanksgiving.
yeah we fed the me and Marcus put the plan together. And we fed anti-athletics for the suits that didn't go home for Thanksgiving.
And like Marcus was saying, that's so important because these kids, you don't understand, a lot of these guys stay on campus don't have that much. They got like $20, and they
Man, you can see like some of the kids that I talked to and took pictures with, like the track students. You know, the first thing they was like, man, oh, thank you so much, You know, we ain't got to eat cookout, and we ain't got to eat hot dogs, or we ain't got to eat Hardee's. We got real food, and that to me, that made me feel that humbled me, and to know that they got something good, you know, for Thanksgiving.
So give me some big ticket initiatives that you guys got going on in 2022. I know you guys don't rest of your laurels. I always take things to the next step. What's going on with your organization in this year?
Well, one of the biggest things right now is that I'm trying to create some classics and some tournaments.
Oh,
That's one of the things that we're working
what
on.
sport?
Both basketball and football.
Okay.
So we're working on that, and especially at the D2 level, because a lot of the D2 schools don't get a lot of the attention that
And listen,
the FCS get, especially in the HBCU area. They don't get those.
one of my close friends is Richard Hayes over at
Florida State.
and here's why I say he got some NFL prospects on that
Yes.
roster all throughout
Yes.
both sides of the ball.
The AD is Mr. Bennett, Anthony Bennett, down
Yes.
there. And he came from Winston-Salem State, which we was at Winston-Salem State together, which Coach Hayes brought him in, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So you
Don't sleep on that CIAA Division II.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
A lot of people do sleep on that.
Mm.
A lot of people do sleep on that, and they don't get a lot of the pull that they should. If you look at, like, right now, A&T will be playing Winston-Salem State. You know that's going to be crazy.
Awesome.
You know that's going to be crazy just because of the close proximity
And
and
the history and the culture.
exactly.
Yeah.
So between Winston, A&T, and Central, just within those two, you put them in a melting pot together. That is amazing.
So you're gonna be the guy to connect the dots and bring some of these dream matchups together.
Yes,
That's the plan.
That's the big plan.
So-
And yes, no, but one of the other biggest things is my biggest passion is I want to give back. Like, you know, me and Mark said, we want to give back to the community.
Mm.
And one of the things is we want to start advocate for ninth graders in high school and start introducing them to HBCUs.
All right.
That's one thing that's one real big for me, that I want to introduce them to HBCUs, because everybody thinks that you have to go to a PWI to get the same education at an HBCU.
I got a temporary right there by that.
Yeah, I saw what you want to do.
You didn't talk to him because you know.
That's just one of the biggest things, man, that I want to give back, is to give back to the community, because I know.
You see, you talking about the campus tours and things like that.
When was the last time you seen buses on the HBCU campus that used to do tours back in the day? When the last time you seen one?
It's been a minute, huh?
Minute? Look, about 10 to 15 years.
Mm.
When the last time you seen a college fair
College fair.
or HBCU?
Mm.
Put it all together. I mean, people don't see it.
Not visible enough.
It's not visible enough,
Okay.
and nobody wants to give to it. But I'm gonna put that out there. That's my whole goal.
So, lastly, I'm hearing this through the internet. I'm in this wonderful City BBQ restaurant, and I want to become part of your team. How do I find out more about you? What
You can find us at BEM Sports Entertainment on Facebook,
Okay.
Instagram,
Okay.
and we also have our website is up.
Oh.
You can go to bemsports.com.
Okay. So
So it's BEM
sports.
SPORTSENT.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna link that from our site.
Hey, no
you sell all
doubt.
the traffic over there.
Hey, I appreciate that.
So Barry, I'm gonna have to talk to you again in a couple weeks when the Cowboys beat up on Tampa Bay.
Hey, see, there you go.
Hey, did you see Brady's face? Something's wrong with him. Like he missed like 10. I don't want to talk. I was gonna say whatever, but he's gonna do something. Because he
Say it again, Pop. Say it one more time.
Bow tie.
There it is.
I'm in there.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks so much,
Appreciate you, man. No problem. I appreciate you.
All right,
All right, man. All right, next time.
All up, brother.
Peace out.
All right. Man. So look here, guys. We got so many guests here tonight. Well, we got to wrap this show up. It's almost time for us to finish.
Yeah.
This restaurant gonna close till 9:30. So we have to see how many there. All right. So before we do that, it's always customary. We got to give our prediction, right?
Yeah.
We got to start. We got to make some scores here, right? Give me your first of all. Any more overview of this matchup?
It's gonna be a competitive game. It's not gonna be a blowout.
Not gonna be a blowout.
No, it's not gonna be a blowout. Both teams are too good at this point, and the coaches know each other pretty well. And Central's gotten better. Central's gotten a lot better. So it's gonna be the team that comes in with the right attitude to get it done. And like I said before, A&T is a pretty seasoned ball club. I just like the fact that they've been there before.
So that food he was talking about Barry, this discount all that.
That's brain fog. That's all brain fog, you know.
So all right, so big. Spot. Give me a score. What's going to be the outcome in your eyes Saturday at the end of that game?
Tight first half. Couple big plays in the third quarter, and A&T pulling away at the end, making the right play.
What's the number?
Right time.
What's the number?
28-20.
28-20. Man, that's tough. How y'all feel about that? 28-20 A&T this Saturday. Oh, too close, BJ? All right, so let me think. I got to crunch all my numbers and look at all my info that we've assembled over the last couple of weeks. Nothing that I've thought about this whole couple hours has changed my mind about the defense. I still am worried about stopping the run. Especially if we got the next one, we go to North Dakota State. But that's something we talk about. We cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
I do think Central's going to come out jacked. They're going to come out fast. Just like a boxer, we're going to have to withstand, right?
Yeah.
So I don't.
Hearns and Hagler.
That's the hard of the best 3 rounds in boxing history, right? I don't know if it could be a ties game late in the second quarter. 7-7, 14-14.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I do think we're going to make those right adjustments. Jaeger's going to get the start by all signs, unless Coach Washington really got everybody tricked. We throw out Eli, somebody crazy.
I'll send somebody out there with a cape.
Yeah. Unless that happens, I think Jaeger, he's a redshirt freshman. He only played a little bit of spot duty here and there. It's going to take him a while to get his sea legs. I think it's going to be a low score first half.
Yeah.
14-14, 17-14. But, man, we got that big running back. And we got that offensive line that's going to pose that wheel. I just think our front on the offensive line is going to be the difference. I think we might not get those big plays downfield. We're going to grind it out. Might get a late turnover.
I agree.
I'm seeing 35-17. Even though we might even be losing 17-14 at halftime,
Right.
I think we pull away and put the shutout in the second quarter, in the second half, 35-17.
But the key to the game is can A&T's offensive line move people out.
Yeah.
If we control the football, Davis Richards can't get on the field, and it's just that simple. The team that wins the trenches is going to win this ball game, and I like what we got up front on that offensive line.
All right, guys. So there you hear. We're picking A&T. Surprise. I don't know when we travel now. So my lovely wife, I want everybody look over here. Miss Thriller, she finally made an appearance. I'm pretty sure this is the first time she'll watch a podcast in a year. I can say that was almost certain. We in bed. I try to watch it on YouTube, and she makes a turn channel and watch. HDTV or something.
Yeah, you can't watch your own reruns.
I can't watch my film. I can't scout my own film in my bedroom. She makes you turn TV. But that's my better half. My two boys, Nick and Xander. We're both my family over there, and we'll give a shout out to what's Missy at? Let's be right behind you. Lovely Missy Turner. She helped us to get started and do all the setup here. She was here for 3 o'clock. I'm at the raffle. Okay, so Marcus, I'm a senior vice president of corporate development. Come back, and that is official. I don't care what you say. And everybody who's here because of A&T, and you just saw some on Twitter or Blue Death Valley or Facebook or whatever. Thank you so much. Boy, BJ, y'all got to mention Smith. We got to talk about that. That's another show. We gonna talk about Smith football next week. We gonna have a special day. Let's talk about Smith football. You gonna be the host because you gonna be a co-host because I see some things, man. Woo! But everybody that came out here, main man from St. Matthews, my brother, all of y'all, everyone in attendance. This community right here. Say again. Oh, Tyler Bo's supposed to sign here. Hey, so Tyler,
Go on there and picture.
when I say planes, trains, and automobiles, I wasn't joking. My man Tyler is catching the Amtrak. You know, Tyler, the Amtrak goes stopping in every town in North Carolina.
Every little cranny.
Now you gonna stop in Lexington, and it ain't Lexington, Kentucky. There's no hey,
And we live with barbecue. I may stop and get some.
you go drive to Charlotte, it's gonna take you 8 hours, I promise, on that train.
No. It's really it's a day train. So
Okay.
the way it's set up is that there are 6 stops back
Okay.
on the
6 stops.
6 stops.
An hour and a half, you'll go 6 times.
And you probably miss like 2 or 3 because if nobody gets on or nobody buys a ticket, they shoot right on.
So you're trying to make a homo to Charlotte for the classic.
Come right back.
So are you going to continue to give us those great those
Sure
announcements?
will. We have to be up by Monday, no later than Monday.
Okay, so no later than Monday, guys. Come to BlueBandLive.com and my main man Tyler. I'm gonna add you to the staff page too. He's gonna give us that the good, bad, and ugly of what happened Saturday. So can we take short hands? Is everybody here gonna be in Charlotte Saturday? Is there? We all gonna be in Charlotte. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, so my main man Tyler, I'll see you down here. Oh, hold on. What's the best party to go to?
Oh, man. That's probably coming in the game. That's the type of question that who's going to win the game. Is where the party. I don't know. I'm getting told by about 5 or 6 different parties promoters coming up to me and asking. Some of them know both of us.
So Tyler, one last question. Are you gonna be drinking this weekend?
Probably.
Are you sure?
Probably.
I got a phone I can show you that might want to give you pause.
Already. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's consider moderation. Moderation.
Moderation. And then do moderation in moderation.
I hear you. All right, my brother, Tyler Ball, you're truly right. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, let's do this right. We're going real quick. We have actually our senior vice president.
All right. So we got a sign here that we're going to give away first.
Get the mic. Okay.
Actually, we got a sign here that we're going to give away first. Half of the people are actually gone.
Okay.
So whoever's here, you are still in the running.
All right.
So you want to get your sign to pull? Or
Hey, Nick, come here. Nick. Whoa. Nick is I don't tell what school he is. Y'all might kidnap him or something. So he's a 6th grader somewhere in Guilford County. Pick one, Nick.
So you may want to pick 2 just in case of the person.
Pick 2. Nick, this ain't a 5-hour show, please. All right, so give it to him. Oh, give it to Nick. Okay. So we got all right, how's it work? We got a number here.
You see it?
So how about this? 683-0894. Anybody here? 683-0894. 4. This is great internet here too. How about 683-0909? Good Lord. Oh, we got one. We got one? You seriously?
Okay, you got
Oh, Lord.
683-0909. 6830909. Is that for real?
Ask him if you got it.
All right, so look, I don't know this kid. It's yours. There you go. There you go.
All right. We got the next one, which is big.
Oh, all right, there you go.
So you got to pick another one. So we got a chair
So
here.
put this one back. Hold on. What was that? Oh, that was here. All right. All right, so Nick, got one job. Come on now. Please. There you go. Oh, we got a controversy right here. All right.
This is a serious one. Okay, and pick two, just in case.
Picture. All right, so we got 6830907. This is a lawn chair.
You're gonna have to deal this.
You got to give that one. You got to pick another one. Because that's your whole house.
6830907. 6830907. You got that? So my wife was a business major at A&T. What you got? 6830907. Marcus,
I just looked at
hold on, Marcus.
I didn't look. It's the same.
No, this is 6830897. What's this right here? 6830907.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Where's it? All right, so my wife wanted, so she can't pick her. That's fine. Yeah, pick two more. Sorry, baby.
Not as soon as you want to be.
I know. So I'll be sleeping on Craig's couch tonight. Oh. 6830905. How about that? Oh! Somebody don't hear. Let's see. That's it.
Oh man, that's
There you go.
Here you go. We're waiting on one of these.
Oh, hey, real quick, PJ, real quick. Get back my real quick. Real quick. So show how it looks.
It's one of the arrow. What are these things? The arrow chair. There's the big thing that's been at Sam's and everybody's been buying them up.
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
And I ain't got a chance to go now.
Oh, hey, great.
There you go. The zero gravity, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Pick it up. There you go. That's nice. Man, we could have had that. You know what? If I didn't introduce you, we could have had it because you could have done it. All right, so look, we got to get out of here. Mark, anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, anybody. So thank you, hey guys. Thank you so much for coming out. We just finished our raffle. We will see you guys in Charlotte. They don't close here until 9:30, so still come out and get some food. 20% of the proceeds going to the AAF. Hey, first of all, thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much to Doug Brown. He did so much, and he's under the weather, but he'll be back Saturday. Craig,
Yeah, man.
anything else you gotta say?
Just thank everybody for coming out tonight, and thanks to City BBQ for hosting this tonight. And see y'all down in Charlotte on Saturday, and go have eat some bird.
Oh man,
Some yard bird.
some Southern Fried Eagle. All right, so with Craig Turner, my right hand man, the brains of the operation, old time insider. I am Samaj Marsh. This has been Blue Death in the City, not Inside the Valley. Blue Death in the City, our first remote live podcast. It went off without a hitch. Tell you, brother, we did it.
Yeah.
Doug Brown, he was there in spirit. We'll be back next week. Until then, we will see you guys. This was Inside the Valley, Blue Death in the City. We'll see you in Charlotte, and then we'll see. One thing. After the game on Sunday, we're going to do a special Blue Death After Dark. We're going to take fan feedback for Sunday, not Saturday, because everybody's going to be partying and get drunk. But Sunday, come back. We'll put it on social media. We will have Blue Death After Dark. This Sunday, after the game, we'll talk all about what happens on Saturday. But until then, I'm Samaj Marsh, Inside the Valley. See you next week. Aggie Pride.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, guys, I'm going to work. Y'all have a good one.